everybody, Randy Stifer here with ConservPhoto.com, and today we're doing part 6 of my post-processing workflow series. This will be the last video in the series, and today we're going to cover importing and finishing the photo in Lightroom. As you can see, I already have Lightroom open, so we're going to go down here to the lower left-hand corner and click Import. And then I'm going to go up here under Menagerie and click where we saved the photo at, which would be Shorebirds. And as you can see, all of my shorebird photos that I already have imported pop up, and the only one that's highlighted and click marked is the photo we've been working on. That makes that pretty easy to find. So you just click import, and there it is. It is now in our Lightroom library, and then we can click develop to finish it off. So the first thing I do once I've got it in Lightroom is I come over here and look at the histogram, and we've got this little triangle up here showing us that we've got some highlight clipping. So we can come over here to whites and pull them down a little bit. And that's all we needed. Just pull it down to, we really only want to pull it down far enough to make that box, that triangle, not be lit up, which would be right there, -12. After I've taken care of that, I will click on the crop tool and I will crop the photo. The nice thing about this is it gives you the rule of thirds right there. And as you can see, I bullseyed this bird, which is pretty typical in wildlife photography because the birds are moving and you're just trying to make sure they're in the frame. And you're almost always going to be cropping later anyway because most of the birds are small and you never got enough lens to get all the way out there. So let's click and hold that at original so we maintain our 3:2 aspect ratio. Now the bird is in the frame. Here's something though. We had these wonderful tracks over here. So I'm thinking for this photo, this just might be one of those times you break the rules. Because the normal rule is you put the bird 1/3 of the way into the photo with 2/3 space over here, not the other way around. So let's click it and see what it looks like. Yep, I'm actually digging that because now we got the tracks in the photo. The bird is centered, you can see, centered on the rule of thirds right here, and then the tracks lead us to the bird. So I'm actually going to leave it like that. Sometimes you can break the rules. It's kind of a minor rule I'm breaking because I'm still using the rule of thirds to position the bird. With that, I come down to clarity, and I will hit it almost always with 30 on clarity. And as usual, I like the result. And then, always double check your histogram after you hit clarity because sometimes it will change. And then, I will see if it can take a little vibrance. Usually I try 15 to start with. Yeah, I'm okay with that. That looks pretty good. And then I'll come down here if there's any special adjustments I want to make. Like I might want to try a little extra saturation on that pink. But what you can see is if you go too high, it makes that bird orange as well. So just a little bit, just to bring out that color in that beak a little bit more. And there you go. That's all there is to it. So now you've been able to see my workflow. Hopefully it's given you some ideals to incorporate into your own. But wait, the photo is not really done yet because we need to go over to the library and add our keywords. This will save you a bunch of time if you keyword on multiple sites. So we have a marble godwit. I'm not going to bore you with all this, so I'm going to fast forward and cut this out, but I'm going to go ahead and finish the keywording and I'll see you in just a second. Okay, now as you can see, I've finished up the keywords. So now every time I export this photo and then upload it someplace, those keywords should go with it. Now before we go though, I'm going to take some time to explain why I choose to do my workflow in this way. Because a lot of people do it exactly backwards to the way I do it. And that is they import into Lightroom and they work on photos in Lightroom and then they use the edit in to send it over to Photoshop. And then after they send it over to Photoshop, they save it and bring it back into Lightroom again. That's great. I mean, if that works for you, that is great. But for me, being a wildlife photographer, I take a lot of photos and throw most of them away. So bringing all those photos into Lightroom is just going to clutter up my Lightroom catalog. So I would much prefer to take the time to create a folder of my own and manually import into it and then go through those photos in Bridge. And then once I've picked all the good ones out of the folder, I just discard the folder. Now understand, I do back up my RAWs to another hard drive that's not on this computer. So I've still got all those photos that I take. But for my working catalog, I prefer to do it this way. I think it keeps a lot cleaner and I can find the photos I'm looking for without having to dig through what in a typical week I might shoot 3,000 photos, but I might only process 25. So as you can see, that would, to find all the process photos in amongst all the RAWs will eventually get pretty burdensome. So this is the way I prefer to do it. Till next time, have a great day and get out there and enjoy some nature.